Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. It's Mike here, as ever. Just here to say thank you for listening. Summer's almost over. I hope you enjoyed your summer. Didn't spend all of it listening to us, but I kind of hope you did. Anyway, we are always grateful for any ratings and reviews that you could leave on your podcast app of choice, and we always like to receive feedback from either of you. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter at Billowing Hilltop, and of course, as always, you can email us at hello@billowinghilltop.com. I have no other news, I have no other information, so let us press on with more adventures for our gallant gang in the lair of the Mindflayer in episode 55, Get Your Goat On. Oh, I had a thought the other day.
Yeah.
I had a thought. Should we talk about my thought?
Why not?
Okay.
Oh. It's more of a sort of Dan. I think it's actually Dan's thought, but it's become...
So it's second hand.
I'll explain it.
It's obviously I'm all for it, whatever it is.
Okay, it's everybody should send me £200. No, the thought is
that belongs
combat,
to you.
right? I was listening back to some of this. Well, I was thinking, and Dan has mentioned this before, that it would be interesting to see Dungeons and Dragons combats played out at the speed that Dungeons and Dragons combats take place at, rather than the speed at which you play them at. Yeah. And I thought, well, we've got a podcast. We record all of our stuff. Right. This is the thought that occurred to me. So we should do a thing where we record. Yeah, we should do an edit where we literally give each. I don't think
a series of instructions.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, it's just like the sound of dice rolling and people going, hit 5 points, miss 8 points, strike, move. I don't know. We should give it a shot anyway.
6 seconds.
Straight move.
The high rounds compressed in 6 seconds.
If I do it, I'll stick it at the end of what episode is this? Episode 50 something.
I like that idea. Actually, I think that's a very good idea.
If I can be bothered, I will stick an edit of a fight on the end of this episode as an Easter egg.
Yeah,
well, it's not much of an Easter egg if you just told everybody.
Explain what it is. Yeah.
No, but you want Dan.
It's a bonus
episode. Sort of, newly discovered tapes from the annals of the DDR
what are the bits
files.
At the end of Marvel things, they have lots of. You have to scroll.
Yeah.
This is annoying me, by the way, as I do my Marvel-thon.
Yeah.
Is at the end of each one, you're like, oh no, I can't just stop. I have to now fast forward to see what happens. Ant-Man, by the way, I enjoyed.
Yeah, it's very funny.
That's where I've got to, and I thought it was actually pretty good. It's much more self-contained than the others. Better script, more funny. Only, 15 minutes of robots hitting each other right at the end. Generally, Yeah. Anyway, there we are. Oh, talking of movies, by the way, sorry, we should start playing D&D in a second. The Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh yeah.
Some wise person has going through either the copyright registration site or something has unearthed the story. Now let me see if I can find it because I put it on social media earlier. Yeah, somebody's found like an unauthorized somewhere on some sort of technical server. They found the synopsis of what the Dungeons and Dragons movie is going to be about. Do you want to hear it?
Go on then.
No,
yes.
no.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, Johnny. Johnny, it's the description that would be on the back of the DVD.
No, I don't want to know. I'm going to I'll close my
You're
ears.
literally not going to look at the poster or watch.
I'll go into the broom cupboard. Yeah, but I'll hear it when I.
Well, someone will come and get you when.
Johnny, this is what you would get if Johnny. Whoa, slow down, Johnny. This is okay. Johnny, I don't think understands what I'm about to do.
Can we lock him in the broom cupboard?
An ex-harper turned thief escapes from prison with his partner, a female barbarian, and reunites with a no-talent wizard and a druid new to their team in an effort to rob the cheating conman who stole all their loot from the heist that landed them behind bars.
Oh, I like it.
And that landed them behind bars and used it to install himself as the Lord of Neverwinter. Only the traitor is allied with a powerful red wizard who has something far more sinister in store. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It could be worse. I'm saying
it could be worse. I'm going to reserve judgment.
Yeah. It's the sort of it's grounded, but it sounds like a Marvel movie. It's the same with me. It's the same old problem, right? It's like Ant-Man, although Ant-Man was fine, but it starts with this guy. Oh, he's a bit of a thingy. He's a bit of a chancer. He's got problems. He's moved out of his apartment. He doesn't know what to do. In an hour later, he's flying around New York with robots hitting each other. So that's what it's going to be. But anyway. Right.
How long do you think he'll wait in the broom cupboard?
Oh, I don't know. We should tell him to come back.
I'll go. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Yeah, we're ready for you. All done.
Hello.
Okay. D&D. Where were we? Who is going to do the recap? Paul did last week. I'm going to roll a D4. I'm going to go round the table. And the recap this week comes from 1, 2, 3, 4. Johnny, can you recap what you know about the D&D movie? No, Johnny, can you?
What happened last week?
Yes.
Right. We started the session with Sessions stuck at the eastern part of the cavern, surrounded by monsters, including this horrible sort of Jubilex type thing in front of him. Bugraft had just been healed by Sessions' double and had just stood up in the middle of an insect swarm. The others were all in the northern part of the chamber trying to fight this sorceress and another of these sort of drow type things. Eventually, sorceress ran. We managed to get rid of the insect swarm. The sorceress ran to the south of the room. Bugraft attacked her and killed her, probably with the assistance of other people.
Probably, yeah.
The Jubilex thing came towards. I can't remember what happened.
When you killed, you can't. When the sorceress was killed,
the Jubilex thing disappeared.
Yes,
that's right.
And then we all cowered in the northern chamber.
Yeah,
protected by the
Sessions did a spirit guardians.
Yep.
Some of the guys with the drow ran off down to the south.
Drow. Oh, okay. Yeah, the people you think.
And then there's some
drow,
sort of zombies things that were goaded out of this prison in the south part of the chamber.
What do you think of zombies that are zombies? Yeah.
Yeah, and they seem to be. Maybe there's some prisoners or something that we can't see, and I'm not quite sure how that relates to the zombies.
It looked like there were some figures that were very hesitant, but eventually ended up in a combat with the zombies of some sort. And the zombies, as it were, having stood at the little fence, the little set of railings and the gate that lead into this cavern, and look rather threatening, have retreated back inside their cavern, perhaps because they were attacked by persons unknown. Yeah.
And
last thing that happened.
Yeah, so we were. At one point, it was looking really ropey for us, but somehow we've managed to turn the tables and.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the Naga came.
I'm a bit low on resources.
Just as we started to rest, I think.
Yeah.
So have we done a short rest?
Yeah.
You had a short rest. You ran it through minute by minute, rolling dice, trying to keep the amount of time that you rested down to a minimum. Just as you had got to the end of about 2 or 3 minutes of resting, the Naga reappeared, its eyes crackling with magical energy, its forked tongue flickering, full of malevolence, and it sort of hissed something nasty at you. And that's where we begin things. But what we need to do for starters is Parker, if it is the real Parker. You can see this Naga. Can you give me an insight check?
13, an 18 in total.
You get the sense that the Naga is putting a brave face on things, perhaps. There's a little bit of doubt behind those little crackling, malevolent eyes. Now, I think we should roll initiative, though. I'm going to roll for the Naga. Okay, I've got a number that I'm going to set. And then let's go around the table. Let's start with Bugraft.
20.
Burple, what did you get?
17.
Good evening, reader. Take a seat. Paul isn't with us, and we are going to... How are we going to run Alessandra?
He said I could run her.
Yeah, I think we all agreed that Johnny would run her.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alessandra, what initiative have you got for her, Johnny?
13 for Alexandra.
Okay, I'll open the character again. It's +3, I think.
That's 16. She'll get in front of Bugrath as a kind of shield.
Yeah, Parker.
I rolled an 8 plus 3 is 11.
Sessions.
22.
We're all pretty fast.
So, Sessions. I mean, you can't see this Naga. You're tucked away in this little alcove at the north of this cavern. But you can see Parker react. And Parker
says, "It's the Naga. And he's not looking as confident as he thinks he is." Whatever.
Yeah, who wrote this dialogue? Okay, great. Sessions, what do you want to do?
Okay, well, I will step out to next to Parker in the mouth of the little cave we're hiding in. Then I think I could have a sight of the Naga. So I will do Toll the Dead or Tumbling Dice on it. Wisdom DC 14.
As you do that, the Naga sort of goes. Anyway, yeah. Is there a saving throw?
Yeah, Wisdom DC 14.
DC 14 wisdom save.
It's a brilliant
It
Naga
makes that
voice.
save
Okay.
with a 19.
Sorry about that, mate. And I step back into my
Sorry about
back
that.
into my pocket.
That's it. There's no half damage or anything.
No
like that.
half
Okay.
damage. I don't have that potent cantrip.
Uncle
thing.
Buggy, Uncle Buggy.
I am moving up to the
do.
small rock pedestal to the southeast, or a boulder, or whatever it is. I've used up all my rages, so I can't rage anymore. Until
Okay.
long rest. I am going to do a cleric spell, so I'm going to do Guiding Bolt.
Yes.
It's radiant damage, and I need to make a spell attack at +5, so I'll roll this and add 5. So, 9.
What?
9 is a miss.
It was all going so well.
It was. And then I will do a Shield of Faith as a bonus action, which gives me +2 on my armor class.
Oh, Clarence the cleric all of a sudden. Okay.
And I'll take cover behind the rock boulder.
Okay, I have one spell left. And that could be a cure.
Save the cure. We might need it.
Yeah.
Or it could be a fairy fire. Means we attack at advantage.
Tempting.
It's tempting, isn't it? It is concentration.
Yeah, Bugraft, by the way, that spell attack of yours was at disadvantage anyway, wasn't it?
I'm
You're
still
still poisoned.
poisoned.
Not that it mattered, you missed anyway. So.
I'm going to. I don't know. I don't want to lead. I'm not strong enough to go up there, ahead of everybody. So.
Well, I'm going to go in and
I want to kind
do
of
some
mark
attacks
time where
on
I
it.
am.
So of course, if I could do those all at advantage, that would be very useful.
Sometimes just that, you just really wanted that slightly lower initiative number, didn't you, Dan? So
I
it
did,
looked like-
yeah, just slightly.
Starting
after
is always a
everybody else.
nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of a nice solid, like an 11 or a 10 or something.
Well, it all
Not
depends on
rubbish.
how fast the monsters are. Obviously, you don't
Yeah,
want it
that's
to be
true.
too low that you go after the monsters, but you do want it
Good
to be
point.
low enough that you
Don't have
other
to make
people
the first
determine the
initiative.
strategy.
yeah,
ahead
don't
of
have to
you.
do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's nowhere that I can go to that looks like I'm moving forwards, but I'm actually not. I'm just.
Yeah.
Well, you could move up to sort of here. You're sort of forward, but you've got a good line of
that's sort
sight.
That's spreading, isn't it? So I'm going to move over to the southern side of that the other cavern. And
Come
kind
on,
of
do the
take-
fairy fire on it.
So you're basically
I think I'm
staying up on the
so-
mezzanine, but running into the other alcove.
You do
Yeah,
the
just so
fairy.
that area of effect things might struggle
Like
a bit
a
more.
scare.
If you do the
Child.
fairy
Yeah.
fire on it, then I get attacks at advantage, and Johnny
Well, it's
can
all
attack
right.
normally.
Don't worry. All of this is none of us need to worry because next it's it's Alessandra,
It's time for a long rest.
and so there we go. I mean, well, no, Johnny, what is Alessandra going to do? I have a feeling that she might be a little bit bolder than the others.
I was only joking. I wouldn't dare go anywhere near Paul's character.
Well, you're
'Cause
not
you
running
gave a
Alessandra.
specific instruction that I can't run him. Okay, we ignoring that? Okay, well in that case, he's like Alexandra's running in front of Bargraft and acting as a kind of shield.
Okay.
Am I really? I'm
Who's
not really
doing this
running
again?
her, am I? I'm joking. Graham's running her,
Am I? Okay.
aren't you? Oh.
Okay, so she's going to, I think, be surprisingly semi-bold. She jogs round to next to Parker on the other side of the cave entrance, hoping that that's got her within the range of the hand crossbow, which she just has, and she'll fire her hand crossbow.
Yeah.
Hits on class 17
Which is a hit.
for 10 points of damage.
The Naga, the crossbow bolt, stoinks through that. I mean, the Naga hasn't got a neck, but in that, in the coils of the Naga, just below its head, crossbow bolt thuds into that. The Naga goes, surrender, and then wobbles, and then just goes, ow, Alex, and thumps, collapses to the ground.
Dies.
It's a new word. Yeah,
And collapses to the ground. Yeah.
Like dead.
I kind of
Yeah.
suspect it.
Well,
'cause
Alessandra does her sort of victory dance.
Oh, yes.
Why did she come out? Well, why didn't it remain hidden?
Maybe it was going to talk to us.
Tell us some important information.
Yeah. The treasure room.
Right, so back to our long rest, or is this just too vulnerable a place to try and take a long rest?
Oh, you mean with the zombies watching us from their cage on the other side of the room? I would say yes. If we were going to sneakily take a long rest, perhaps up on that ledge.
But the thing is, there was a party. There was some noise in the corridor back where we came from.
There's definitely been noise following you into the caverns that didn't sound like the Naga's slither.
Yeah.
It sounded like footsteps. Maybe not too many individuals, but it did sound like footsteps.
And the sort of stockade with the... Is it a compost heap?
It's animals. There's some very anemic, starved-looking livestock in that little pen. A couple of goats.
I can talk to beasts if I know what's going on.
Scrawny-looking sheep.
Could I talk to them?
Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can, Malcolm.
Of course you can, Malcolm. Right, well, I'll do a speak with animals.
Hello, Meadow. What's going on here? Who's looking after you? We've been having a bad time of it recently. I'm sorry to hear that. Is that purple? Is he a bard?
He's a bird, but don't ask him to sing, whatever you do.
Okay.
Who's looking after you?
Nobody looks after us. We just every now and again, with one of us is taken away and eaten.
By what?
Well, the thin people take us away.
The thin people?
Yeah, apart from the thin people, are there any other people here?
Oh, there's a very thin person. Oh, and there's a grey person, floaty person.
What's going on in the cage down there?
Oh, never. I can't see. Maybe you need to speak to Gary the goat.
All right, pass me over to Gary.
Well, Gary the goat is there, yeah? What do you want to say?
Hi, Gary.
I say he's a goat, it's just a kid, really.
Oh, no.
Hello?
You're just kidding, aren't you?
Hardly anything. What would you like to know?
I'd like to know. I don't know. I can't think of any questions.
Why is your voice going higher when my voice goes higher?
What's the snake woman? What's she been doing?
This snake woman? What's this? I don't know what you're talking about.
Good chat.
Yes, this is
this
really
is-
not a very interesting conversation.
I think when Gary Gygo sat there all those years ago,
This is what he envisaged.
this is what they were thinking of.
I'm going to let them out. Why not?
He couldn't articulate it at the time, which is why the rules are so kind of open-ended.
But it's all to do with talking with goats.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the cage, let them out.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I don't know where that voice came from.
Spread word amongst your kind that I let you out.
I've heard some very good things about you.
Thank you.
They looked delighted to have been let out, and they sort of scatter.
Where are they going to go?
Be careful, going.
They're slightly. Let's be honest. They're slightly wobbly-legged. They're not in the greatest of physical condition.
Yeah.
Be careful going down the corridor.
Well, they can't understand you, Parker.
Well.
It's not long before
They probably
you
want to stay
hear-
away from the spirit guardians as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the spirit.
Oh, hey, guardians. Playing cards.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they just wander around. Yeah. I mean, the sheep will follow each other, obviously. The
Shoo
goats
them out of
go-
the way so we can examine the body of the Naga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the magician and the
Well, you're going to
sorceress.
sort of herd them off somewhere. You're going to drive
You've
them.
Go on, bugger off. Do your thing.
No, tell them they're free to go.
You're free. Spread the word. You're free to go.
Spread the word.
Don't walk into
Spread
the
the word
cards.
around over in the hills.
Back to our long rest.
They head off. I think a couple of them head back. I'm going to roll.
Head back into their pen and happily sit down.
Well, I mean, there's a possibility. I'm going to roll 1, 2. They head off to the southwest. Yeah. 3, 4. They just stand around looking gormless. 5, 6. They head back the way that you came in, past the Naga's body. Here we go, rolling a d6, rolling a 4. They stand around looking gormless. Yeah, you free them, you open the pen, they just look at you like, what are you doing? Why would we leave this lovely pen that we saved so hard to buy?
Did you not listen? I said spread the word. The word? Yes.
They don't know what you mean by spread the word. They don't know about any they don't know about any others of their kind. They don't know what you mean by hills. Their total universe is this cavern. Let's move on and leave that behind on the editing room floor. What do you want to do next? No sound of any hostiles. No sign of any
bodies.
A long rest.
I need spells. I've got 1 spell left.
I'm going to take a long rest, 8 hours of rest
in this place.
Does it say?
Or can you meditate, Purple? Oh no, you're on a...
About on that ledge that we were fired at from near the entrance.
Well, back here would be relatively obscure.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone comes, that we're just going to get found.
Yes.
We're in for a fight, so it depends on the strength of the whatever comes. We could try and tackle the undead.
I mean, there was movement, and like I said, there's movement sort of from behind you, from tracking you, as it were, along your route. But there's not been anything recently.
I move up to the door where the undead were, and I'm going to have a peer in there.
Well, you can see. I think you catch a couple of undead inside the range of your spirit guardians. There's a couple of zombies lurking on the other side of the gate.
Alessandra decides to stand in front of the gate.
Okay.
Can we not close the gate?
Yeah, close
it, but you can't lock it. You don't have the key. The key was on one of the...
She holds it closed while
Sessions
has a peer in and tries to mow them down with his spirit guardians.
Okay, well, you can see a couple of... What's your range of your light spell? It's 20 foot bright, 20 foot dim, right?
Dark vision. Alessandra has dark vision 60 feet, so when she's standing there, she can see the whole kind of room.
Yes, Alessandra peers into this cavern. Give me a perception check, both of you, please.
Alessandra, who gets 10, rolls a 4, gets 10.
No.
Not really particularly handy. Sessions.
What'd you get?
21.
21. Okay, you can hear whimpering from your south and east. It looks... You get the sense, Alessandra gets the sense, that this cavern that it stretches off to your south, but that through a couple of narrow little apertures, it might lead off to another area off to your east. And you can hear, Sessions, some sort of whimpering from that direction.
Oh.
In the main body of this chamber, though, there are 4 of these zombies with large chunks taken out of their craniums, lurking around and looking belligerent. But they're not attacking. They seem to be sort of just loitering.
Okay, this seems like a good chamber to clear, and actually might be a better place to hide for our long rest.
Yeah.
The missing brains sounds a bit like the Mindflayer, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
I'm going to pick it up after Alessandra. So Parker, it's your turn.
So I'll move up to there, and I'll ask Alessandra to please take a step back.
Out of the way when she gets the chance. Okay. Yeah. The next, these creatures sort of shuffle forwards. The gate is closed, right?
Yeah, Alessandra's holding the gate closed.
I'm just going to... They're very dumb, these things. They're starting their... Can you tell me, if they start their turn in your Spirit Guardians session, do they take damage?
Yes, the first time they enter or start their turn, it's will save DC 14.
It's a stretch for these creatures to make that save, but here we go. First one rolls a 12, fails. Second one rolls a 9 and fails. So they take how much damage?
They take 13 with my 48, saved to half. So they failed, so they take 13.
So they both take 13 points of damage. They don't think they're particularly... Is it radiant damage?
It is radiant damage.
Ooh. Well, I mean, they both seem quite significantly wounded just to start their turns. They seem unwell immediately. So they kind of reel a little bit from your Spirit Guardians. And then I'm going to roll intelligence checks for them. They don't have much intelligence. First one. 2. It doesn't understand what's happening to it. It does understand that there's something nasty in front of it. So it lurches up to the gate and it bashes against the gate that Alessandra is holding closed. And I think we have an opposed strength check. The zombie rolls a 3. A 3 for a total of 4. Can
Okay.
Alessandra summon 4 from somewhere and keep
Alessandra
the gate
has
closed?
+4. Oh, that's saving throw. Hang on. So on a strength check, she gets a 16.
And then so she holds the gate closed, and then the second zombie rolls an 8 for its intelligence check, which is also not enough. In fact, it's just absolutely lamentable. And it also lurches forwards and tries to bash open the gate, rolling with its strength check. Total of 12 on its strength check. That's more respectable.
More respectable.
Throws itself at the gate.
Hodor
Yeah.
rolls 14.
14. So you hold the gate closed in the face of this assault from these zombies.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 zombies, I'm going to roll intelligence checks with the 2 of them together. They're not actually in the thing. Though they roll high numbers. They steer clear of the playing cards. They're clearly smarter than your average. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they sort of shuffle off out of your field of view, off down one of these little apertures towards what you presume is a passageway off to your left to the east. And we move on to Sessions Epa on 22.
Okay. Well, Sessions, I think, will. Can they can't attack us through the gate? Yeah, is that right?
They don't seem to have worked out if they can or not. It's the gate has got the bars are perhaps an inch or so apart, so not effectively. No.
Can I step backwards, or do I have to withdraw to get behind Hodor?
No, you don't think you're threatened. I'm
I'm going to step back behind Hodor, and I will do Toll the Dead Tumbling Dice on this one.
On the
one on the left.
The one on the left. Okay, it makes a saving throw. Does it? A wisdom save again? It fails that wisdom save.
Oh, so I get to roll some damage. It takes 8 points of damage.
It collapses. It expires with a gurgle. Anything else from Sessions?
No, that session's fully done.
Uncle Buggy?
Uncle Buggy will move forward up to the gate.
Yeah, you can attack through. If you've got an edged weapon or a piercing weapon, you can stab it through the bars, but you're going to be attacking at disadvantage.
I mean, I've got a.
He's doing that anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
You remember you can attack
Good point.
recklessly, and then you're not at disadvantage.
I've used all my rages up.
Oh.
Oh, well, can I attack it with the Frostbrand Great Axe, or do I need to use my Trident?
The trident is the same. It's no more. It's not easier to use the trident.
One's proddy, isn't it?
It is more proddy. Is it piercing damage? I think, to be honest, that you have to use the trident. Sorry to be sort of
No, I agree.
retrospectively, whatever.
I think
I think you've really got to wield the axe. Yeah, it's a great big thing. Whereas with the trident, you can kind of prong it through the gaps.
I'll poke it with a Trident then.
Poke it with a trident at disadvantage. Give it a shot.
So I rolled a 19 and a 20.
Well, that's a
Not
hit.
criticals.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Can you make a DC 13? I don't know what the save is.
I know what
Constitution,
it is.
probably.
It failed that save.
Okay, it takes another 1d6. So it takes this much necrotic damage. It takes 1 point of necrotic damage. Plus
Yes, and how
another 6 points of normal piercing damage.
And it might collapse. I'm just going to make a Constitution save for it. It's still up, but it looks like it's reeling, and it's purple.
Can I jump down from the top of the cliff?
You can jump from anywhere from about 2/3 of the way back down.
Can't really get there, can I?
You move as far as you can, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Alessandra, you're holding the gate closed.
Yeah, no, I'll continue holding the gate closed.
Okay, fine. Now we go on to Parker.
Well, I'll do a produce flame on it.
Yeah, it's got some
Hitting-
cover from you.
Armor class
That might be a miss, you know.
14. No,
How
it's
much?
a 6. Sorry, armor class 11.
Armor class 11 is a miss. Anything else? That's it?
No, that's
After
it.
all that,
Yeah.
okay. And now it's it. Well, it collapses. It doesn't have the spirit guardians finish it off, and you can hear some shuffling and some sort of squeals and whimpers from your south, like deeper into this sort of dark area of cavern. And it's Sessions on 22 at the top of the next round.
I think Session's going to ready an action to follow up, covering everyone with his spirit guardians as the fighters move forward.
Bugraft.
I am going to open the door I will proceed forward southwards into the chamber. I'll look down one of these little
Buckcroft seems to have turned into a copper. Yeah.
I shall proceed down in a northerly fashion.
I will peer down at one of these small alcoves to the east.
You've got a light spell, right?
Yes.
You can just make out an area that cuts through, and you can sort of see a pillar of rock. You can hear some whimpering from down that way.
I head towards the alcove.
Yeah.
Saying, hello, 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 if I'm a policeman. See if there's anybody needs help. Hello, hello, hello. What's going on here then?
You see some individuals. It looks like you found some civilians, Bugraft. They are pushed up against the back of the cave as you walk in. They look terrified. They look as terrified of you as anything else.
I say, it's Uncle Buggy.
Yeah, well, there we are.
That really 60-year-old barbarian.
They push themselves up against the wall of the cavern as you sort of ferally stagger in.
I'll give them a grin with my toothless mouth.
Yeah, nice.
Hello.
There's a couple of humans. There is a male elf, and there are 2 girls, one elven and one tiefling. And they look in a state of malnourishment. They look like they may have been affected by some kind of nutritional diseases. Not that you're a doctor as well as a policeman, but they look like they are in really bad shape. Pallid, they're very, very thin, and they look like they probably tipped over that fragile boundary from sanity to insanity as a result of their ordeal. And so they're just sort of goggling at you, looking absolutely terrified. You can hear to your south, but you can't see because your light spell is not illuminating that part of the cavern, the shuffling of zombiness in your immediate proximity. There are 2 more zombies in the southern part of this other cavern. It looks like they're just sort of they're going zombie at you.
Still got movement. Move up to one and bash it with my great axe. Can I drop my trident and draw my axe?
I think you can draw your axe as a. Can't remember. Anybody know?
No, it's the one free interaction, isn't it?
One free interaction. Okay, so with the so you're attacking with the trident.
I'll put him with the trident then.
Okay, go for it. Well, it's not going to happen.
8.
Okay, a miss. Burple, herpish.
It doesn't look wormy, does it? This thing.
Yeah, it's absolutely seething in worms. And now you look down at your feet. The whole cavern is carpeted with worms that are rushing towards you. No, it's fine.
So I will move up behind Uncle Buggy.
Up behind Uncle Buggy, you can see into this cavern. You can see these terrified civilians and a couple of zombies.
That's it. I can't really do anything else. Move.
Okay,
Why don't you sing them a song?
Yeah. It's all right, civilians. Don't worry, we're here.
Oh, that Vera Lynn classic. Alessandra?
They start throwing themselves at the zombies.
Bite me.
Bite off my ears.
No, me first.
Deafen me.
Save me from this
Please
sound.
just deafen me. Alessandra?
Can she see this zombie from there? The one that's attacking Bugraft?
Yeah, she can, yes, if she moves south, yep.
Yeah, so she moves south through the gates into the chamber, past the first opening where Burple is, down to the second one, where she spies Bugraft being attacked by a zombie, and she gives it her hand crossbow.
That's nice of her. It says, thank you very much.
It's a cheap model, but never mind.
Shoots it at Bugraft.
Yeah, she fires the hand crossbow.
Yeah.
Hitting an armor class of 19.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay, so the damage.
Sur le zombie.
Sneak attack as well, I think.
Yeah, with the sneak attack. So that's 6 normal damage and 15 sneaky attack damage. So a total of 21 points of damage.
It has to. I roll the dice in the background. It collapses and it just goes zombie with this crossbow bolt in its neck, and it just collapses onto the ground.
Alessandra does her fortnight dance
again. Yeah,
again, and that's pretty much her go.
Parker.
So Parker will basically run up all the way through the gate, between the gap between the 2 chambers, right up to the last of the zombies,
Yes.
And then he will basically do 3 attacks on it. Oh no, a 1 again. That's
What?
just
Okay, now.
you want to gamble,
Parker? Do you want to gamble? I mean, you lose. That's the end of your round unless you gamble. Do you want to gamble? Big decision, Parker. Big.
11
Take your
was a
time.
miss, wasn't it?
Take your time, Parker. Gonna have to hurry you, Parker.
Yes, don't.
Fuck it, I'll gamble. It's always going to go wrong. Okay, second attack, 10.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to draw a card, Parker.
God, Jesus Christ!
We're going to draw a card from the critical fail deck. Here we go. I'm going to deal you a card, and you can read that out to us, please.
Wide open. All creatures within 5 feet of you may make an opportunity attack against you.
Well, it does. It rolls to attack you. It rolls a 9. It hits armor class. This is not going to be enough. I know it's not going to be enough because it's just a hopeless. Yeah, it hits armor class 12, which is not enough with its opportunity attack.
So do I get the rest of my go now?
No, that's it. And it's this creature now. Now, this creature is going to slam at Parker. It might as well. It rolls a 10 for it hits armor class 12, which is not enough. No. And it is the round of Sessions Epa.
So Sessions will step through the gate, close it gently behind him, walk down to sort of where Alessandra is, but not getting in the way of her shot, and will cover his colleagues in the Spirit Guardians, and that will be Sessions, I think.
Lovely. Bugraft? Uncle Buggy?
Moving 5 foot south next to Parker.
Okay, cool. Yep.
And then I'm bashing the thing. Are you sure this poison hasn't worn off? Because we've had a short rest and everything.
A short rest was about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because of the new short rest rules that don't work in your favour, I'm afraid, with this poison.
I'm going to attack it with the Frostbrand. Why not?
Yes, go for it.
So I roll a 26, which is a critical, and a 15 is my disadvantage.
Do critical damage, or do you want to gamble?
No, because I'm attacking disadvantage, I've got to use the 15.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay. So it's still a hit.
And then I'm going to bash it. So I do 14 water damage.
Doesn't like that very much. It kind of goes.
It doesn't die?
Reels and wobbles. It doesn't die. No.
I'm going to bash it again.
Yeah, go for it.
15.
15's also a hit.
Second time. And then I'm going to do another 11 water damage.
Yeah, okay, so it's got to make a roll. Needing a 16, rolling a 15. It is a constitution save. It's still standing. It teeters, and it's still up. And it's Burple's turn.
Well, Burple's going to move up and hit it.
Yes.
With his long sword.
Yes.
Hitting armor class 18.
And it collapses. You slice its head from its neck.
Yeah, I'll just
rolls
glance
across
at
the
Uncle
floor.
Buggy, kind of knowing glance.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
That's how it's done.
Yeah. Old fella.
Move over, old fella.
Yeah, your time has passed. And then there's these, you're left with these civilians who are emphatically, fervently grateful for, I don't know, have you rescued them, or are you going to do something awful?
Yes, I'm giving them some food.
Okay, yeah, very small amounts of food.
Sharing out my rations.
Okay.
How long have you been here? Tell us your stories.
Rolling a D10. The one that will speak to you, they're in a very difficult state. One of them is capable of kind of communicating. It is the girl, the elven girl. She is able to tell you a pretty harrowing story of basically like a blackout. Yeah, like a moment she can't remember. She can remember living her normal life. She lives in Evenstar. She lives in the city. Then that one day she sort of was going. She remembers her going about her normal life, and then the next thing she knows is that she was here. And the others just stare at her and then stare at you as she's talking to you. She manages to sort of communicate to you that there is some awful monstrosity, some awful abomination, some terrifying. When she mentions it, she just refers to it as the creature, and when she does so, the others sort of reel and look really deeply disturbed. She says that every now there were more of them, and every now and again this creature visits the cave and takes one of them away.
Does it look like an octopus head?
Yes, she seems to recognise.
Yes, it's a Mindflayer, it's called.
She just looks blankly at you.
Yes, a mind flare. Can we search the body of the sorceress and the Naga, by the way? Did we do that?
No, you hadn't searched the body of the sorceress. You haven't
Sorcerer
searched the body of the
Naga.
You haven't really done any searching
No,
around.
Search all the bodies. The pool.
Yeah, search the lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Search the whole thing.
just give me an idea of where you're looking. I mean, are you searching any areas or are you just searching people?
I think we should search the room and the pool.
The pool, yeah, and the main chamber.
Okay. And what are you doing with these people?
What do they want to do? I'm giving them food, reassuring them, trying to raise their spirits. I can tell them the way out, or they can wait there for us to take them out later.
You get the impression that they, certainly for the moment, it looks like they don't want to stay where they are, which they associate with sort of a dreadful ordeal, but they don't want to start, they don't know where they are, right? So they don't really want to start sort of blundering off into the, for all they know. I mean, are you explaining to them where they are?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They butcher a goat and have fried goat, roasted goat meat.
Okay, the sizzle of goat meat.
Gary the goat.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kid. And you're searching. Right. The Naga has nothing on it. The warriors have got, well, they're wearing armor, they're carrying crossbows, and they've got short swords that don't seem particularly interesting.
Those crossbow bolts have got poison on them, though, haven't they?
Well, they did have, yes. It looks like that poison is of a sort of
temporary nature.
Temporary nature. Yeah, that's right. The priestess is wearing scale mail, and the suit of scale mail that she's wearing looks out of the ordinary. And she's carrying a mace that looks of unusually fine craftsmanship. The only other thing I have to report to you is that you find something in the pool. Bottom of the pool.
43 years of experience.
Well, you did actually swim down to the bottom of the pool, Bugraft, and I asked you if you were going to search among the glowing things you found there, and you said that you weren't. But when you return to the bottom of the pool, you find a glowing green emerald at the base of at the bottom of the pool that seems unusual.
Look through it. Geometry seeing.
Maybe there's a. What it actually reminds you of when you look at it, when you hold it up to the, well, it doesn't need, it's got its own internal light really. When you hold it up, when you kind of inspect it, it slightly reminds you of the gems that you found on the Bugbear after the drug deal that went wrong in the wilderness.
Not these bloody
But it's not. It's got a sort of flickering, glowing mote of light in it, just like those gems. But unlike their diamonds, and they've got very distinctive, once you actually inspect it, 3 pointed flame symbol of the House of Outsplinter. This has got a more nebulous kind of green, glinting, glistening mote of light in the center of it. So it's similar, but it's not exactly the same.
Can we use a sort of arcana or something to identify
Going
the
into that
specific
cavern
effect?
with a pool in it, possibly. Going into that cavern with the pool in it, you don't encounter or see any other creatures. So if there was anything following you into the caverns, they're not visible now. Was this straight after the fight with the zombies, or do you take a long rest before you do all of this?
Straight after. Then we
Straight
take a long
after.
rest.
Fine. And so then you want to try and find somewhere to take a long rest, is that right?
Yes.
Are you using the caged area?
It's probably not a bad place to use.
Okay. Are you keeping the civilians with you, or are you
Yes,
letting them wander?
suggest
Okay,
that
fine.
they stay with us, and then we'll all bed down in that
Steady. Yep.
area where where we just killed off the last of the zombies.
Yeah,
so that basically,
yeah.
if somebody comes out of the whirlpool, the teleportation thing or whatever it is.
Are you referring to the glowing design on the floor of the passage?
Yes.
Okay.
So that somebody can basically keep guard on that corner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, you are undisturbed for your long rest. You can push whatever buttons you need to push.
Excellent.
And it's that you were adventuring in the afternoon, early evening
Right.
of weekday, the 24th of February. So I'm saying that it is now the early hours of the morning of Thump Day, the 25th of February.
Okay.
And what do you want to do?
Just a quick question. The area with this glowing
Are you heading that way?
teleporty thing. I was just asking why we were searching there. I noticed on the map that the area you've blocked off, it looks like there might be a corridor continuing after.
It does continue, but somebody's got to head off and take a light source or dark vision and look that way.
Well, if I go and stand at the edge of that corridor, I can look all the way down.
You see, Parker, as you peer down the corridor that's got this strange symbol on it. I'll give you a proper description in a second. The passageway continues to the southwest to the extent of your dark vision, and then seems to sort of take a slight right turn and open out a bit. You've got the sense that it's opening out into a larger area at the end. Yep.
Ooh, wow.
But halfway down this length of passageway, this tunnel, there is a strange symbol on the floor. All you've seen so far of it is it, as it backlit the warriors that you were fighting who were running out of that area. Yep.
Right.
But now you can see it properly, and I can tell you a bit more about it. It looks very like the symbol that you saw on the letter that you found in the effects of Telarkin, the doppelganger crime lord, that was from a mystery figure asking Telarkin to, you infer from the letter, to deal with you. Yep. And it's the same as the symbol that was on the belt buckle of the Mindflayer that Bugraft glimpsed as he dived off the pedestal into the water room when you were escaping from the fight with Telarkin. So it's the same, it's stylized, but it's basically the same symbol.
Right.
Bugraft, you're going to run up behind Parker. You're looking down this corridor.
Correct.
Well, so the first thing, we have a slight duty of care to
I'm
these
wondering if we should
civilians.
escort them out. The thing is, there's the spores on the way out.
Yes, so the civilians, we can't just leave them to themselves, then they'll have a bad time.
I think we should investigate the exit.
Well, we can quickly cover that if you like.
Should we work out what the treasure does?
Yes, we should do that too.
Ooh, say to the century.
I love your use of the word treasure.
You mean magic?
Well, let's run through things in a sequence.
We don't know that it's magic yet, do we?
Where do you
I'm
want to
going to go
start?
invisible.
Where do you want to start? You don't encounter anyone. I'm going to say that since anyone who has passed successfully or unsuccessfully through the yellow mould area on the way in, can remember enough about how they got across to not have to make rolls on the way back out. When you get back to street level, it takes you about 15 to 20 minutes to sort of get them through the sewer system and back up to the street where you had originally came in. They don't look like the most together of them, the girl, she's okay. I mean, she doesn't seem to be completely befuddled. It's the early hours of the morning. It's dark and quiet on the street when you crack the manhole cover, pop up to the surface. You can hear the occasional individual moving about, but the barking of dogs and so forth, but really not much else. The most together of them, the girl, she seems kind of okay with the fact that she's out in a street and that she understands that she's in the city, and she may even look like there may even be a spark of recognition in her environment. The others look like they just have no idea. They don't know their names and they don't know what their families are. So there is no way that you could sort of say, well, we'll take you home first or anything like that. And she sort of remembers quite a bit of her former life, but she doesn't really look like she knows where she would go next, for example. If you said, well, off you go then, she would just stand there and look at you.
Maybe Eligos, who sent us here in order to investigate this thing, may be able to ask them questions that would be helpful in learning about this cult.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, would you like to do that?
How long does it take to get from where we are to Eligos's?
Ooh, about across the it's probably a 20 minutes, half-hour walk, something like that.
With them.
So that's reasonably close. We take them there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk through the city with these individuals.
Yeah.
It's going to make a couple of rolls. I mean, mostly the streets are deserted. The chances of you finding anyone in authority are slim, and in fact, you're fine. You don't encounter anybody that kind of casts you a second glance. You get to the gates of Eligos's house. You pull on a bell pull. Her elderly servant appears. You can explain that you've rescued these individuals and can they be given shelter, and that's fine. You don't meet Eligos, who is probably well.
And then we head
sleeping.
back.
And then you head back. That takes you about an hour and a half in total. Burple, you've been sitting there for an hour and a half before you hear the sloshing of your companions returning. Yep. What do you want to do now? You've successfully rescued these people.
Let's deal with the treasure. Might be useful.
Who wants some chainmail? Not me.
There's scale mail. There's some scale mail. There's a mace, and there's this glowing gem.
We do a ritual detect magic. That takes 10 minutes. So we should work out at least that.
All three of them are magical.
Yeah, that's what we thought, but we know that now.
You identify. You just sit with them, don't you?
I think if you an item that requires attunement, you learn its properties when you attune to it.
I think you do when you kind of play around with it, but I think there's a few alternatives.
Does anybody know the rules for identifying items? We really, really need to narrow this down.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work very well for 5e.
What do you mean?
I think you can just attune to it and you know what it does. I mean,
some magical items are
silly.
indistinguishable from their non-magical counterparts, whereas each other magic items display their magic nature conspicuously. Whatever magic item's appearance, handling the item is enough to give a character sense that something is extraordinary about it. Discovering a magic item's properties isn't automatic, however. The identify spell is the fastest way to reveal an item's properties. Alternatively, a character can focus on one magic item during a short rest while being in physical contact with the item. At the end of the rest, the character learns the item's properties as well as how to use them. Potions are an exception. A little taste is enough to tell the taste of what the potion does.
Fine. Okay. Well, we're going to handwave that.
That's lame.
Because we're going to handwave that. So, Burple, you could have been left. I'm not sure that they would have done this with the items while they were away, and you can spend the time that they spent rescuing the civilians. You can spend concentrating, trying to get a sense of all of these different objects and what they
basically,
do.
it's terrible. So I got mugged, and I don't have these items anymore. I threw them away.
They're worthless. I fed them to the sheep. Yeah. The items are so what the scale mail is adamantine scale mail, useful for somebody who wears armor as a sort of generality, but effectively it means that you are immune to critical hits. So it's a little bit like what we would call fortification armor.
And what armor class is there any bonus on the scale
There's
mail?
there's no bonus. So it's just the same armor as standard scale mail, but you're immune to criticals.
What does anybody know?
No, I mean somebody would have to.
Scale mail is good.
Scale
Okay,
mail.
somebody look that up.
+4.
If you
Scale mail is good.
it's heavy armor.
It's heavy armor,
it's
isn't it, or
below
medium? So if you wear heavy armor,
No good. I'm not interested in that one.
right? Okay, it's also a great big thing to carry around, but you have got a bag of holding. The mace is a +1 mace of spell storing. You can actually hear the sound of Graham exhaling.
Why have you put an item down specifically for Graham? It's disgraceful.
I don't put the items down. Dan.
Disgraceful.
You have to email
Yeah,
Jason
I think I
Bullman,
will.
who wrote the adventure.
But you're running it. You could have changed it. You
Okay,
changed a
do.
lot of other stuff. Yeah.
If you want, I can
You
message
should.
him.
You should have anticipated we had Graham running a cleric.
What you tend to find, of course, is that the items that you get down these things do tend to play into the needs of the kind of classic classes more than others. I mean, you never find musical instruments. You never find... Yeah, right? Yeah. But anyway. So, yes, it's a mace of spell storing +1. It can contain at any point 3 levels of spells. It's got 2 slots occupied by a whole person spell.
Yep.
And then the final thing is this gem. It's an elemental gem. It's a water elemental gem. And let me tell you about what an elemental gem does, because I don't think you recognize it. The elemental gem is a one-use item. It contains a mote of elemental energy. When you use an action to break the gem, an elemental is summoned, as if you would cast the conjure elemental spell, and the gem's magic is lost. And it's an emerald, which means that it summons a water elemental. There you are. Those are your 3 items. Are you going to hand them out just on the fly?
That's my suggestion, yeah. We hand them out on the fly for the moment, and then we crack on down this corridor.
What do you want to do?
So my suggestion would be we give the mace to Graham for spell usage, and because that means, Healy spells or whatever you can cast in there.
I'll look after the gem.
Okay, so Bugroff's going to look after the gem. You give the mace to Graham, and the armour, is anybody going to put it on, or are you going to put it in the bag of holding?
I didn't wear heavy armor. I'm a bard.
I'm wondering whether it's more sensible to give Burple the gem.
Okay.
Well, because Burple's more likely to be in a position to be able to use it rather than Bugraft or the monk, who are going to be in melee combat.
Burple takes the gem, Sessions takes the mace, and the armour?
Bag of holding, by the sound of it.
Okay,
Can Alessandra use it, Graham? What's
No, Alessandra can emphatically
It's
not
heavy
use it. I mean, she
armour.
can,
Okay.
but it would,
Remove
I've got a
sneak
bag of
attack.
holding. I can stick it in the bag of holding.
Yeah, it's in the bag of holding. Okay,
Okay.
on we go. So what are you going to do? So you're going to push into this corridor. Are you looking at this corridor?
Yes. And
Well, I've
then
described it to you before, Parker. So there's a passageway. There's a purple radiance coming from this sort of coiled tentacle symbol on the floor. The passageway leads about 40, 50 feet.
I presume that you can go past this symbol without actually having to
Step on it? Yes, there's space around it. It's actually not so big that you could just hop over it.
Right, well, I'm not going to hop over it. I'm going to go round it, but I'm going to cautiously move forward down the passageway, say to about 10 feet past the symbol to begin with, and see what I can see.
Parker's going to do that. What about Bugraft is in the entrance of the passageway. Burple's just behind him. Alessandra and Sessions, where are you going to be when
Sessions is going to be starting to follow up. Alessandra, I guess, will be up towards the front, sneaking along.
Okay, so Alessandra and Bugraft at the entrance of the passage. Burple and Sessions hanging back. Parker
cautiously moving forward.
Cautiously moves through the passageway.
Alessandra
skirts
will
the edge of the
follow
symbol on the floor.
Parker, because she likes a surprising thing.
Alessandra will follow the passageway down. As you're passing this symbol on the floor, Parker, with Alessandra close behind you, you realise that the symbol on the floor, nothing happens. It seems to be just cosmetic only. It's sort of shifting colours, spiralling tentacle design. But there is another symbol, a symbol that you didn't see, a symbol that had been masked from you, that's on the ceiling. And as you step past the symbol on the floor, the symbol on the ceiling is triggered, and there is a burst of energy that washes over you and Alessandra. And we will find out what that does next week.
It's a glyph of warding.
As ever, Parker walks straight into it. How many years of D&D?
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Hall of Harsh Reflections and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Hall of Harsh Reflections was written by Jason Bullman. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.
Let's have initiative.
4, 17.
18.
11.
Starting with Marzana. Ducks through the door to the south. Parker.
Up the ladder and along the causeway.
Burple.
I can just get out of the room.
Sessions.
I will follow Burple.
Bugraft.
Down the corridor till I'm standing by the toilet.
Alessandra.
Readied action just to shoot at something.
Marzana runs through the door to the south.
Go up to the double doors.
The floor gives way underneath you.
20.
You just manage to not topple in.
So I'll open the door.
It's empty. Burple.
Move up to the door. Open it.
Empty. Sessions.
Move up to the other side of the door. I will ready tumbling dice.
Uncle Buggy.
Opening those doors and peering in. Is anybody in there?
Hesty Testapod is in there. Boom. Off goes the fireball.
What dice?
8 from Burple.
He can't make it. No, he's saved.
I made my save using my orc dice.
Uncle Buggy.
Critical save.
He does
Oh, Christ.
Ouch.
Oh, still
38
alive.
points of damage. Alessandra, you use your radiant action to ping an arrow through the burning fireball.
Second roll is 27. 8 points.
Bugraft, you're still moving.
2 attacks with my adequate sword. 15,
Is a miss.
Nice.
26,
That is a hit.
13 points of damage. I go, "Rrr."
Alessandra.
Hitting arm class 23. 10 points of piercing damage.
Parker.
Fist of Unbroken Air.
He fails that saving throw.
Oh, no.
20 points of damage.
Nice.
And he is knocked up to the wall and he's prone.
I'll do a dissonant whispers on him.
Okay.
I'm going to do it at first level.
He makes that save.
7 points.
A Session Zeeper
Tumbling dice.
makes that save. Hesty Testapod. Parker, Alessandra, Bugraft, DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
16.
12.
19 in total.
Alessandra is affected by a slow spell. Bugraft on 11.
Add 7 to this.
There's a hit.
14 points of damage with the first hit. 18.
Is a hit.
17 points of damage.
Alessandro,
18.
exactly what you needed.
11 points of damage.
Parker, it's your turn.
Finish him.
Oh, is a
Oh no.
natural one. We're going to gamble.
Dirty.
It's a 20.
Oh god, this is just ridiculous. Armor class 9. Next one 18.
How much damage?
8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. It's not enough.
20. 9 points of damage.
Oh, come on. You put your fist through his face.
Yes.
Yes.
Comes out the
told
other
you I was
side
right.
and you hurt your knuckles on the wall.